and one of the guys was whining about something, and another guy says, don't be a cunt. If your sensitivity, words of the effect, if your sensitivity is so weak, no wonder you're fucking poor. This is them, some guy telling one of the other guys. And all Mr. Peña's trying to do is, I'll give you the information. It's for fucking free. Don't be a dipshit. And that's the fucking bottom line. Kat, would you read some of those? She was just reading. Would you read some of those to me again? Some of these are these are the more salient, which I get a chuckle out of. About the black woman. Tell me about the black woman.
Someone said that you'll be reincarnated as a strong, independent black woman.
Now, normally we have some brothers in the audience, but we don't have any today, this time. Yeah.
And then someone said that, thank you, you just revealed the master key of Think and Grow Rich when you said, really, your lives do depend on it, kids, you just don't know it. Mm-hmm. Someone suggested that you'll be a great chief general for the new alliance army led by Emperor Trump in World War III.
And we're going to have a World War III, kids. And it's not going to be because Trump pushes the motherfucking button. Everybody forgets that wacko up in North Korea, you know, who is wacko. And a couple others.
Someone said, stop apologizing for saying Allah's will, blah, 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 because he said that you're saying it right anyway.
Okay.
He's asking about what choice did Bill Pettis made.
Oh, the black guy, the weightlifter guy, what bad choice he made. He thought he was being played as a black man. And he decided that he was going to show them he was going to be a fucking bum the rest of his life. And a lot of the kids, that's a good point. A lot of the kids, I'll show them, or when we were kids, I'll show my parents. I won't get good grades. I'll show in my particular case, I'll show my dad, who was a big-time cop. I'll get in fucking trouble, get arrested, get beat up by the cops. What I could have been thinking, I have no idea what the fuck was going through my brain. And, of course, my dad, when he was still alive, he said that, I said, you must have been patient, Dad. And he just kind of chuckles. Didn't say much when he got old. And he said that, I just prayed a lot. And if you knew my dad, as Sally, my wife, did, he's not the kind of guy that you think prayed. He didn't. But he had just prayed a lot, and that it'd work out. Me work out. And my 98-year-old aunt just passed away. She was the last of that generation in my family. And from when I was trying to kill my teacher as a young kid, I was always an angel to her. And her own children thought that she was delusional. You know, so, I mean, it's just like the nuns and the priests that I work with now think that I'm, oh, Lord, I don't know why they think that, but I do know why they think that, but I'm certainly not. But my 98-year-old aunt who passed away, I started going to see her when she was about 91 because she was getting old. And so about every other year, she lived in Hawaii, I'd go visit her. And so when she was 95, she says, I see you more than, anybody else in the family. Well, you're getting old, Aunt Stella. And then when she was 98, we had never talked about her turning 100. When she was 98 this last time, about this time last year, they started planning for her 100th birthday, and then she died. So the moral of that story is, if you get old, don't be planning your fucking 100th birthday till you're 100. Make it 101st birthday. 101st birthday. Okay, you saw the movie last night, Jobs. And there's another movie coming out which is going to be the 100% truth. That one's only about 60. So what was the takeaway, if any, from the movie Jobs last night after our Indian meal?
Didn't take any excuses. He did whatever he had to. Didn't take no for an answer.
He wasn't interested in I can't do it, or why it was going to take longer, or he just wasn't. And when we cover some stuff, because one of my mentees, as I told you, is become tight with Woz, Wozniak. That's the real world, guys. That's it. All the rest is bullshit. Now, probably none of you have ever been around anybody like him. Well, you've never been around anybody like me. But I mean, those guys, that ilk, those guys and gals on that wall, that's them. That's how they act. And it's not an act. That came out wrong. It's not an act. That is their real personality. And I'm not suggesting you be that, but I did say before I left, if you want to get to that level, you got to toughen up. You got to toughen up. They tell me, those guys that I've known, if you were really tough, now a lot of them don't think I'm tough because I'm not savage enough. Now, they don't think I'm savage enough. And you guys sit around there with your eyes roll back in your head because you can't believe some of the things I've done or say. And yet, in that element, I'm not savage enough. So where does that leave you? But the dream team is you've got to have a fucking assassin. I don't mean a real assassin. You've got to have an assassin. You've got to have somebody that's a tough motherfucker on there. Hopefully it's your chairman. If it's not your chairman, it's your CFO. And there's a kind of a group strength when they get together. It's like sharks feeding on, they get tougher. And even though the Brits seem, as Costa Grazos told me many years ago, Dan, dress British and think Yiddish. I mean, a group of Brits can really be fucking pretty savage on a board. And all that prim and proper shit goes out the window when they're, like in a corporate takeover battle or whatever the hell, hostile takeover, which I've experienced a couple times. And but the movie ends too airy-fairy because that's not how the real world is, because they got to make it palatable for you guys and gals. But it's fairly accurate. And the longer that Steve is dead, the more real stuff will come out about him. And I'm not wishing Warren or Bill or any of these guys die anytime soon, but I hope I'm alive to see those fucking movies. Anything else about Steve? Yes, sir.
So it seemed like every time, they just did the launches, but every time they had a launch, it seemed like the whole world or everyone around him was trying to attack him and bring him down at the same time.
Well, that was his perception. I don't know how truthful that was, but he's paranoid. One of the 10 secrets to Trump's success: stay paranoid. That's one of the things I'm not, because I know that I've literally never lost a deal when the people come after me, and even though I might not lower my guard, but not be as proactive in being defensive, because I know that I'm going to win, and so I'm not as worried. And plus, I like to fight. So if you like to fight and you like to litigate, then we're going to talk. Litigation is a business tool. I'm going to say that again. The biggest difference between these guys, litigation is a business tool. And if you don't fucking learn to litigate, you're not going to be a big hitter. Because all the big hitters know that litigation is a business tool. I don't keep track anymore, but I used to be 246 in 1 lawsuits. 246 in 1. Now I'm about 290 in 3 or 4. And just so the YouTubers, 85% of those had nothing to do with money. It was over some moral issue. I spent $300,000-$400,000 on a $10 trophy once. And when you buy a lot of companies, you buy litigation. You buy the lawsuits if you're not buying just assets. So, but I like to litigate. I like to fight. So, and not so much. And Trump obviously likes to fight. It's part of his mantra. And even if the guys that we're talking about don't like to fight, they know how to fight. You don't have to like to fight, but you better know how to fucking fight. Meaning the lawyers, et cetera, that we talk about, the dream team. And you can't be 35 years in business without, at senior levels without have been involved in litigation. It just is impossible. It's impossible. And but I have kids in here that are reasonably successful, that got a few shekels, that have never been to court. And they pride themselves on that. I've had reasonably successful people in here that have $50 million that say, the Royal Bank of Scotland's never turned me down. And I went up and I slapped the person. This was in the 90s when I hit people. I said, well, then you're not asking for enough fucking money, you fucking moron. But they were proud of that. I can tell some of you have never been turned down by banks either, just by the fucking doofus look on your face. Now, I'm not talking about never asking them, so you've never been turned down, but I'm talking about asking them and then never being turned down. I get turned down a lot. And sometimes I can turn the bank and make them, Remember, I said to somebody, when somebody tells you no, it's because you didn't give them enough reasons to say yes. Well, I made the mistake of telling my kids that many years ago when they were little. God damn. But when somebody tells you no, it's because you haven't given them enough information to say yes. When somebody tells you no, guys, it's your fault, not theirs. And that's why some of the kids are much more successful at getting board members and accountants and lawyers than others. They haven't given them enough information. And you've heard two different people. One overloads them. One tells them fuck all nothing. Well, the kid that doesn't tell him anything doesn't know anything. But by the way, you asked, what does Josh do? Josh is a computer programmer by trade or job or whatever while he's building his company. And I think I might have mentioned he's homeschooled, never been to school, never been to university. And as remarkable as he sounds, he's not. But which is kind of an oxymoron, doesn't make sense. That if he's not remarkable, how the fuck can he do all this stuff? Because it's easy. Oh God, please listen to me. It's easy. It's easy. It is not hard. I'd like to be able to tell you the reason. I was the only guy on the planet that ever did it, and it's because it's so fucking difficult, but it's not. You and YouTubers make it easy. Make it hard. Now, I've said this before, and I've said it on YouTube, but I'm going to say it again. 99.99999% of all the people that have used QLA since I started telling people in 1993, I've never met, face fucked, link fucked, tweet fucked, text. I wouldn't know them if they came and they pissed on my foot. So all these people have utilized this information and created all these billions. Okay, YouTubers, we'll talk to you later.